want to capture everyone in the room. So if you all want to show how hype you are with your body, we will have a photographer magic to come and take a photo. So everyone just say hi or something. Ready? Come on now. Yay! Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yay, thank you. So we have so many people to thank for bringing this reading to life. First, we could not have done it without the support of our fiscal agent, the Greater Lowell Community Foundation. Our gold sponsors, Nancy Donahue, Enterprise Bank, Yunju Choi, Dolores Toomey, and Studio 26 Associates. Yay! Our bronze sponsors, Ann Mulvey and Donna O'Neill, C4 Innovations, Cassandra Goldwater, the Center for Hope and Healing, DIY Lowell, Girls Inc. of Greater Lowell, woo! Glory Scent, the Institute for Nonprofit Practice, Jack Moynihan, Jim Wild, Laura and Robert Smith, Martha Mayo, the Merrimack Valley branch of the NAACP, Robert Gignac, and Vanna Howard. And another special thanks to the Kindred Project, Offbeat Compost, Visual Mag, Woven Royal, and Root Note Studio. So I encourage you to enjoy the words, all true stories and accounts from a group of phenomenal women, including myself, Kesiah Bascom, Masada Jones, Martiza Grooms, and Naychelle Gandia. Yay! The name Free Soil Arts Collective was inspired by the work of the Lowell Free Soil Party to protect the life of fugitive slave Nathaniel Booth right here in Lowell, Massachusetts in the 1800s. The slogan of the party was free soil, free labor, free men, saying that those who work the soil deserve to be free. It is our belief that those whose stories are underrepresented in the arts have the right to tell their own stories. Yes. So today is going to be fun, okay? So I invite you to snap, to hoop, to holler, clap, all that magical stuff, and to enjoy Hair-i-Tage's stories of Black heritage.
I grew up with white parents. So from the very beginning, they were a little confused about what to do with their adopted black child. But one thing my mom did know and understand was that hair was a really important part of black culture. So right from the beginning, she taught herself how to do braids, how to do everything. So I had these cute styles with braids and beads in it, or those big afro puffs.
My mom was big on the hot comb when I was a kid, like the huge metal one. She would leave it on the stove forever, and then it would be steaming. And then she would proceed to dip said fire wand into a thing of grease. And it would be like, and then she would put it in my hair. I would go to school looking so greasy. I would make oil stains everywhere I went. On the back of my seat on the school bus, my friends when I was hugging them. I ended up needing to use 2 paper towels on each side before I left the house. The struggle.
Oh no, I love a hot comb. I still have one.
A hot comb?
Yes, I still use it today.
What kind do you have?
Like that one that goes on the stove, or like the new age one that plugs in. It gets hot. I mean, back in the day, I would just park the new growth and get it on there like, oh.
The worst thing with the hot combs when you got popped by it. Like you're not supposed to react.
In 4th grade, I got my hair straightened for the first time.
Wow.
But it was by a white woman. It was more like poofy straight. Half throw, half straight. But it was long, the longest I've ever seen it. Unfortunately, it broke off immediately. But my mom, props to my mom, she learned from that mistake. And then I was natural until I think it was middle school. I remember I was reading all of these magazines at the time, and there was this black woman in it who had this cute haircut with all of these layers, and I was like, I want to look like that. So I found a woman. She was actually black, even though we were in southern New Hampshire. She did it, but it still looked like shit. I think for like a year I was straightening my hair, but finally I was like, I am never going to look like my white classmates. So that was that. But eventually I did discover hair extensions, and my mom, she even taught herself how to do those.
Damn, I didn't even learn to do extensions.
Yeah, my sister, she kind of learned how to help with it too. So I went through this hair extension phase. If you saw pictures, you guys would all judge me. I remember experimenting with colors like blonde or white and red in my hair. It was crazy. It would be braided halfway down, then I'd put hair elastics in it, and then it would be straight for the rest of the time. It was so bad. But then, it's crazy, because I don't think I knew Erykah Badu by name, but until I was in college, and then I saw pictures of her, and I got this idea in my head that I needed to head wrap my hair. So you see pictures of that too, and it's still pretty bad. Like I would wrap it, and it would be up to my eyebrows. My ears would be sticking out. On top of that, hair, it's just so tricky for me. Growing up, I remember I'd be playing soccer, and of course I'd be rocking my hair extensions on the field, but they told me I wasn't going to be able to play because ribbons weren't allowed. You know, basically saying that my hair extensions were ribbons.
Oh,
no! Ugh, they didn't even let me wear my hair wrapped in school because they considered it to be the same as wearing hats. So I had to be like, well, it's my culture, I think. But at the same time, I feel as critical and harsh and ignorant as the white community was, I don't feel like the black community was that much better to me. I had an experience with a black hairdresser when I got older, and I went in and she just grabbed my hair and she was like, you need to put chemicals in that. And that was the only advice they had for me. Now being natural is this big thing, but 5 or 10 years ago, it wasn't what it is now. People told me I wasn't going to be able to get a job with my hair like this, but you know, some of it, maybe I did kind of look like shit. People are really rude though. People are rude, and you get it from everywhere. So eventually you just kind of, you know, have to embrace yourself.
And people have insecurities too. Putting that on you.
And where in New Hampshire are you from again?
Sunapee. Oh my God, guys, I sweating. I was just talking about this. This is kind of my health.
I love it. You're just so casually like, this is my hell. Smile on your face like, this is my hell. I mean, I have white family too, so my hair was always a big deal. Always. Growing up, I would have like braids and little curls. I mean, once I figured out weave, it was over. I used to glue tracks directly to my scalp. I know. So bad. And then I started doing cornrows and blonde curls. Like, what was that fooling? Like, it would be a thing when I would go to school. All the white students would be like,
Oh my God, your hair's so different.
how did you do that?
Do you wash it?
How was it short yesterday but long today?
It would be so annoying.
I got extensions once, and I just remember it sounded like rubber bands were being snapped in my ear. My sister and I got them done at the same time. They were these cornrows with curls on the end. We felt so fancy. They went all the way down like here, and then the rest was curly. But it hurt. I'm tender-headed. Can you imagine?
Even on my own self, I'm like, oh, it has to be tight.
Oh my goodness.
I know, and I'm tender-headed too.
My aunt used to make it seem like I was. My aunt down south, she would do my hair and be like, oh.
Was she heavy-handed?
Yeah, like you have to use a wooden brush.
I feel like you're intentionally trying to hurt me.
Like, if you have to put your knees on my shoulders, maybe you're being too forceful.
Right.
Maybe you're doing the most.
There was one lady I knew for sure if my mom was like, oh, you're getting your hair done by so-and-so, I'd be like, why?
Okay, but guys, you ever get your hair braided so tight that you had to pee?
Basically, mainly when they get that edge. Oh my goodness.
Remember they have to hold your face like this? Surprise everywhere you go.
A family member did that to me once, snatched all my edges.
Now I tell everyone, I don't care, I be holding on to that braid. You can go. You gotta hold on.
You have to learn, style is not worth it.
Absolutely.
You be looking cute, and then you take that style down, and you're bald. Or you got patches all over you.
Right.
It's not worth it.
Like, I still want to look like somebody when I take all this shit off.
That is why I had to learn how to do my own hair. I had to. I was sick of people snatching my edges or just not doing what I asked them to do. I remember this one time, I drove an hour to Boston, spent $160, and the hairdresser still didn't do what I asked her to do. It was so annoying. I went on YouTube and I figured it out. It was trial and error, but I had to figure it out.
I remember doing the same thing. It must have been 2008, 2009. I'd gone to the Dominican salon to get my hair done. That's where my sister goes, but her hair is different than mine, so it's lovely. And so when I went to get my hair straightened, the lady was like,
You want a relaxer?
and I was like, no, it's fine. Just put a deep conditioner in, it'll be okay. And she was like,
You don't relax?
I was like, no, I don't think I need it. And she's like, oh, yes, you do. Okay. Just leave this deep conditioner in for a little while, it'll be fine. I know my hair, it'll be fine. So then we straightened it, and the hairdresser was like,
Oh, you were right.
I know it. I know my hair. What, you thought your job was going to be easy? It was not helpful. Get her done.
I remember we were living on Burton Ave. I was really little. I had to be like 7 or 8 because all my other years I had this one teacher that called me Miss Poof Poof. Yeah. Anyways, after I lived with my aunt and Nana and them for a couple of years, my Nana, she took me to this place on the corner of our street. And there were these old ladies and they put that these Shirley Temple curls, and all I can remember is my Nana looking at me, eyes wide, in utter shock, and she says, "Don't freak out." I had entire Shirley Temple curls coming out of my hair. It was traumatizing. I was like, "What do you mean, Nana? My whole curl is coming out?" And she showed me it was like this long. So my hair was damaged from that point on. My Nana said, "It's because they were jealous of your hair. I just knew they were going to do something. They were talking about how thick your hair was." I was like, "Nana, why you leave me alone with them?" Girl, we hopped around from hairstylist to hairstylist, and still I remember one time I was in a pool, and again, chunks of my hair were floating in the pool. It took a while. I think we went through like 4 hairstylists until we got to Miss Carrie. She treated my hair so good. She got it growing back and it was so long. She was good to me too. They used natural chemicals. I don't know what that means. I just remember spending like 6 or 7 hours with Miss Carrie.
It's too damn long.
It is. I had her from 8th grade to the first year of college as my hairdresser. Relationships with hairdressers are a thing. Then in college, I was like, "Oh, Nana, these relaxers are kind of pricey, and I'd rather you give me that money." Well, I never saw the money, but I did start doing my hair myself. Flat ironing, blow drying it, and then I just stopped. I was tired, especially when my hair got longer. My arms got really tired, like this.
I remember when I got my first perm, I was mad that my hair didn't magically start blowing in the wind. I must have been like 10 years old or something, and I remember after we had rinsed the perm out, I looked in the mirror, and I was angry. I was angry that I had basically gone through all of that burning and not itching my scalp for weeks, all to have the same regular, hair.
I mean, I know what you mean, because it was like relaxers were the solution to everything. Don't got money for a hairdresser? Relaxer. Don't got money for a hot comb straightener? Relaxer. Okay, $8.99 just for me. New girlfriend.
Wow. Just for me! That's the one I promised! I remember that cassette tape that would be in the box. And it had a Just For Me jingle in there. And there was this young little girl in the box with those barrettes that hit you in the face when you play hopscotch.
Yo, when my hair was relaxed, it was nice. I remember going to church with that long braid with the bow on the head, all sassy. On special days like Easter, my mom would do it the day before to make sure it was really late. I woke up to church like, get a hang time on the braid, switch your edges laid, feeling fresh to death.
In the house of the Lord.
Yes, that was for like the first 10 years of my life. And then I was like, oh shit, this is damaging.
My story is that I got my first perm at 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. My granny was real mad at my mom. But I spent many an evening in front of the stove, kitchen table, getting my hair done in twists and braids and cornrows, at beads and ribbons, all the things. I continued to stay on the creamy crack throughout high school. I used to wake up super early and put curls in my hair. Now I can't even hold the barrel right when my hair is straight. I put my hair in bantu knots so I have like a little bit of a curl when it's straight. But I knew I wasn't going to relax my hair after high school. It was going to be hard to maintain, and I knew I could get someone to help me, but that wasn't realistic. Then I read the autobiography of Masada. Yes. And she talked about her hair journey from having a relaxer to having her fro, and I was like, yeah. This is me. I don't think the relaxing needs to happen anymore. And then I was like, when I told people, like, okay, I'm not gonna relax it. Some people were like, what you gonna do? Walk around with a little afro? And I was like, yeah, I mean, at least at first. It's gonna grow though, that's what's gonna happen.
very much in tune with like the earth.
I mean, yeah, like I even remember when I stopped plucking my eyebrows. I think I tried once and I plucked like one hair and I was like, this hurts. Why am I doing this?
And you have really good eyebrows.
You do. You better work.
Yeah, thank you. But remember back in the 90s, thin eyebrows were in?
Yes, and now all of a sudden, no. Bushy eyebrows are in. They played us. All of us. I got great on my eyebrows, and now you're saying bushy eyebrows are in? This isn't my house! I had been at this one job for like 3 years, so they were used to my ever-changing hairstyles. I had this long straight wig, my biblical wig, parted down the middle, very corporate. And then I would have like my weekend wigs and my summer wigs. My hair was always different, but I just had to prepare myself. When I go into work, they're gonna ask me a lot of questions. Like, oh yeah, no, it took me 3 hours. Yeah, I know. No, I can wash it. Yes, yeah. Nope, did it myself. Yeah, that is a long time. Having to have the same conversation over and over again. But for me, it's like, I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing because you're ignorant or whatever.
If you want to have a real conversation with me, cool. But I'm not going to be the master educator. I'm not going to be the master of the Black experience. If you want to ask me something in particular, something about me and my specific thoughts, I can give you that. But I'm not about to sit here every day and answer your questions. Like, motherfucker, you should have looked that up. And then do you always feel inclined to answer their questions? I mean, like when they're asking you things several times.
I do, because like, okay, I say, this is a safe space. Ask me. Because when you go out in the world, don't ask all the Black ladies. Okay? Like, I'm telling you straight up, it's fine if you ask me. I'll give you some of the answers. I'll be honest. But when you go out into the world, this is not for everybody. Okay? I'm your friend. I'm a Black woman that's your friend. And I'll deal with whatever English shit they gotta say, but recently though, I've stopped trying to be like, let me tell you about the Black movement and the Black woman and just women shit in general. Like, I am not your fucking token. I'm not your educator. And I'm not here to tell you everything. Like, look it up. Google is free. I will never forget it. I had a choir recital, and I was rocking like little headbands. Like, honestly, I don't even know what my hair was doing that day, but the little girl came up to me and she was like, oh, you wore a headband. That's interesting. I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, you know, because Black people, your hair's so nappy, right?
Oh, Lord. So I can't wear a headband.
And then she goes, you know, you don't have a lot of options, right? Because your hair is so nappy. I was like, girl, we're at a Christmas concert. Do not make it. Okay, but listen, right? We were at a community thing. You were at my table. No. Yes. This has happened to me twice in the last year. An older white lady turns around, she gives me a nice kind smile, one of these. Well, I'm assuming she knows me. I'm like, hey. Then she's like, I love your hair. I turned around at Christa and her table. I was like, did y'all see that? My God, that is crazy. Like, what makes people think it's literally okay to pet somebody? I'm not a fucking dog. Don't touch me. Right? Another time, I'm at an event, you know, we all dancing, getting down. Another older white woman comes up to me. She's a little shorter, so, you know, when she comes up to me, I get on her level a little bit. And she goes, I love this. I'm like, okay. But if I was I did this on purpose. It's like when people say, you're so pretty for a black girl. Like, I know. I didn't ask you.
And it's like you're already, whether you're conscious of it or not,
Thinking of me as the other.
it's like you already have these privileges, you already have all of these things, and then on top of that, you want to regulate, you know? Like, I approve this, oh, and I approve this. It's like you can't just be.
I'm not here for you. I'm not here for your entertaining. I'm a person.
And being a black person in America, especially being a black woman in America, is constantly living in a compromised state. You're constantly having to walk around accepting the fact that you're an other, living in a society that feels like they have power over you. And they can assert that power at any given time. But if you let that permeate your daily life, then you're not living. So you're constantly living in this compromised state because you're like, I exist, but they don't want me to exist. And if they decide that I'm not allowed to exist, that's it. That fucks people up. You're constantly having to juggle your feelings of happiness and despair.
Yeah. And then you get rewarded for not slapping people in the mouth when they say slick shit. Like, how are people not basing themselves and being self-aware at this point? It's 2019.
I'm also done trying to rationalize with people that are irrational. Since 2014, you will just be deleted on Facebook. You're going to, after you unfollow, you are going to see me in your suggested friends.
And we always have to be the ones to remain calm and polite. Like last week, my husband's coming up the stairs to our apartment, and some guy was like, do you live here? We've lived there for 3 years. He was like, I've never seen you before. So he pushes the door open and goes upstairs, and the guy tried to stop him, talk about, I'm gonna call the police.
So we can't have a conversation.
And why is that always the first reaction?
Beauty icons for 5,000. Go.
Oh my God. Erica Badu.
Yes!
And then Joie Lee. Do you know her? She is Spike Lee's sister, I think. Because I've been natural for a while, and I used to do weird things with my hair. Like, I would do twist outs, but they would be spiky twist outs, and then I would wrap it so they'd all be sticking out on the top. It was really weird. And I felt like maybe I would never meet a man, because I was too much myself, too different. But then I started watching Spike Lee joints, and wow. She would wear a full-brimmed hat, she would cut a hole in the top of them, and then her hair would be sticking out on the top. And I think I remember it was in Mo Better Blues. It really pissed me off, because he ends up dating this woman with lighter skin and straight hair over Joie Lee, this dark-skinned, beautiful woman with natural hair. Well, eventually he does go back to her, but only after he dabbles with European-looking women. And that just really pissed me off. I was like, from the very beginning, she was the one for you. I felt like that's who I was in every situation. But before that, you know, growing up, people would ask you, who would play you in a movie? And I would always say Sandra Bullock. She's so hungry.
Sandra Bullock, she's hilarious.
Okay, I can't remember her real name, and I know I'm gonna remember it as soon as I say it. Denise Huxtable. Lisa Bonet!
Yes!
I remember watching her for the first time on the Cosby's, and I'm like, oh, I love her so much. She's just, her style, just being carefree, and her hair was always different too. I feel like for me, my hair is always in some way, shape, or form different, but it's also very much the same. It just depends on how active I'm feeling in the moment. Maybe, you know, I always felt like I wanted to have that swag, that Denise Huxtable. Maybe that's also why I started wearing big sweaters last winter. Oh, well. She's totally my fashion icon. Ooh, but then for hair too, Tracy Ellis Ross. Yeah. She's just so goofy and silly. Like when people say, you know, you could be Diana Ross's child. What's her name? That's me.
I think growing up, I never really saw anyone that resonated with me, especially being darker skinned. But now, with Orange is the Blackout, the orange is the new blackout. They show the versatility of blackness and that we're not just this monolith. Like, who say Samira Wiley? She's like this army brat, right? And Tasty, Danielle Brooks, she's brown skinned and beautiful. Did y'all see her photo shoot? Woo, magic.
I don't know, kind of like what Masada was saying, from like 8 to 12 years old, there wasn't anybody I saw that looked like me. And I mean, I grew up around white people, so I was like, I want to be Rachel from Friends. That was my favorite show. I don't know. I would be Phoebe. You. But as I grew older, I started doing my hair like Scary Spice.
Yeah.
I would have all the little knots in my hair. Any black girl in pop culture, I was like, that's me. Oh, that's me. That's me. Like Teen Tamara, me and my sister would dress up like them and be like, sister, sister. Who else? Oh, and when Destiny's Child came out, forget it. I've wanted to be Beyonce my whole life. And now, I don't know, like style-wise, someone who really switches it up. You know Molly from Insecure?
Yeah.
Yes, that is who I would want to be. Like, if I really had money, like if I was put together like a serious bitch.
Yes. She switches it up.
She does. And like Tracy Ellis Ross, I love her spirit. She's so funny and carefree and beautiful. I would definitely say that's my personality. I feel like there's different parts of me, you know? You could be like the Beyonce part, and then you could be like Tracy Ellis Ross part. I feel like you can be all those things at once, or different things at different times. You can have big hair today and weave tomorrow.
I was just thinking, when you were talking, Jill Scott.
Yes.
I discovered her late in life. I think it was like freshman year in college. She rocked my world. She did funky stuff with her hair and the way she dressed and her no-nonsense attitude. I've always had this vision of myself older, but I need to not make a division of myself older and make a division of myself now. Covered in like silver bangles and like jewelry and tattoos and crystals. And I don't know, like being more in tune with myself. And it's funny because I've seen this image of myself since I was a kid, of either a shaved head or locks. I was actually saying this in a self-love class I was taking once, and I shared this with them, and they said, well, you know, you could die tomorrow, right? I said, yes. They're like, if that's how you see yourself as, and tomorrow isn't promised, what are you doing? It's all connected. I'm going on a tangent, but it was a class with the Center for Hope and Healing. And it was a self-love class, 12 weeks long. The group was a really good group. And we had to write eulogies to our present self. And, as if we died today. And what would you hope people would say about you? It's based off what you've accomplished thus far. Is there anything that you never got the chance to accomplish? And the other eulogy you had to write was, what do you wish people said about you? And I remember I wrote it and I was like, Christa was a blah, blah, blah. She wore bangles. And at the time I thought it was really foolish because it had really manifested itself into physical things. I told the teacher, I'm like, I want tattoos and a shaved head and all this stuff. I just don't think it's a big deal. And she said, it sounds like all of those things represent freedom. And I told her, yeah, I get it, but that's not a priority. And she said, do you know what that's called? That's called avoidance. She said, all of that stuff for you today means freedom. So why aren't you doing it? And I was like, it's not just physical for me. Like, Jill Scott is what started that thing. Like, the music, self-love, that I was enough, everything.
Back to the game. When I was in high school, the person I idolize and look up to the most, low-key, was Aliyah.
Oh, yes!
So when I would get my hair relaxed, I would wear my shorts under my squishy pants. She was always wearing those bandanas, and there's a picture of me with my bandana and my squishy pants, and I'm like, I think I'm like 10 years old. Oh, and then left eye.
Yeah.
I always loved left eye. I'm just a big goofball, all these goofy people, but you know, prolific too.
When India Ari came out with that video, and she was on her bike with the guitar on the back,
Yes.
that resonated. In spite of all the negativity surrounding us, people are saying that Black folks are having such a moment.
I do think we're having like a moment, but do you sometimes feel like it's a little exploitative?
For sure.
Think about a Pantene commercial. Nowadays, it's like all of a sudden, they got this ad with a Black mom and her Black daughter. And the mom is brushing her daughter's hair, and they're like, this is us. But there is a small part of me that doesn't think it's authentic. Like, I can't fully appreciate it. Pantene, you were not doing this 3 or 4 years ago.
It's like literally everything is pandering now because they're like, oh snap, Black people are actually buying products. There's a whole market right there.
Black sells.
And it's in right now, you know, Black is the new Black.
But because there's a market for it, it has become so expensive. Even now, the way the natural hair industry has been monetized, it's so expensive. It's like you need a pomade, a twisting gel, and a deep mask.
I just don't believe it. I don't believe that I need 5 products to look good.
I just don't get any of it anymore. I use 2 basic products. Someone will be like, ooh, put this coconut mango thing in your hair. Whatever. My hair's about to smell like fucking hair. Even now, I would say with the mainstream media, there's nothing for me.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, with my own hair products and things that I need, it's not in the mainstream media. It's more like I'm getting information from Instagram or YouTube.
Yeah.
That's so true. And even now, when Black people say like, Black culture is so mainstream, it's really not. It's still like a fraction of what's out there. You're scrolling through your TV and it's like, white show, white show, white show, Blackish, white show. White show. It's still so disproportionate.
Right. And people claim equality because you have these white shows with one funny Black character. Hello? You're a fucking token.
Seriously, I mean, have you seen the setup? It's a romantic comedy on Netflix, and it stars Tay Diggs and Lucy Liu.
Oh.
But the catch is, it's not even about them. It's about their 2 white assistants. It's about what it takes. They're still the side characters. Just once, I want to see a movie where a Black girl is at the end running through an airport screaming, I love you, Tyra! Something. I mean, that's why Black Panther was such a huge deal. It had to be as good as it was, and it had to make as much money as it did. They would have never done it again. They would have been like, oh, we tried, but that didn't work. It has to be the best thing out there because it's the only one. I mean, you have mediocre movies that come out all the time, and they're trash. Like, have you seen Amy Schumer's last couple of movies? Trash, 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 trash. They're all trash.
When Black Panther came out, you know, you had this energy, like people made an event out of it. Like the fact that we have to make an event out of just getting representation is
for Halloween. It's because they finally have someone they can look up to that actually looks like them. It's important. And I heard my godson say, like, I want to be Black Panther for Halloween. Like, let's take a picture in front of the poster. I was so happy for him, but I was like, oh, damn, white kids get to feel this all the time? Even smaller things like Band-Aids and ballet shoes, white people are already set up to feel 100% comfortable.
Yeah, even with Halloween.
Halloween?
Yeah. Like, I remember trying to be a witch when I was younger, and they would have those fake nails, you know, like the rubber fake nails. Yeah. They would only have them in white, though. They didn't have black ones. So I would be a black witch with white nails.
Halloween costumes were a struggle.
Emojis now, like the colored emojis. I remember when they first came out, I hadn't updated my phone. So everyone was sending me what looked like an alien face plus a peace sign. It was like an alien face plus prayer hands emoji. I finally talked to my sister about it and I was like, what's up with the alien? She's like, no, I just sent you black prayer hands. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you mean the formula was alien plus white person equals black? What? Then I did update my phone.
Got that good hair.
I'm always seeing these articles talking about Black women specifically and our identity with our hair and how they're inextricably linked. Do you think that's even true?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to totally articulate it, but it's definitely a part of my identity. There's also definitely a utilitarian part of it where I just need to roll out of bed. But when I was younger and still in high school, I was starting to embrace myself and my natural hair. So I also started thinking about my name. Because I used to hate my name when I was younger. Everybody butchered it. It was just way too different. It means spice bar. So in high school, that's when I also feel like there were probably some journal entries lying around somewhere. And as a kid, I would write in them, I'm not black, I'm just me. I'm just Kesiah, you know? And what does that mean? Well, it means spice bar. So, naturally, I went to Bath and Body Works and I got ginger lotion. And I was like, my smell is spicy. Embracing my natural hair, though, that was directly a part of that. I started wearing bigger earrings. If I went to Afro-punk or some random thing, I would do a fro hop. But from day to day, I went through a phase for years of just rapping it. I would just kind of get stuck in something and switch out of it from time to time. But then, shifting over to locking up my hair, it was a huge deal. I feel like I've been talking about it for years, but I was so scared to just give up the fro and give up what I knew to be a part of me and go into this whole new, bold new,
I had a conversation with someone recently about hoop earrings. I love hoop earrings. Ever since I was a little kid, I swore they made women look better. I just felt so fly and beautiful. But I don't wear them as often as I want. Not to work, not during the day, only on the weekends. It's just, sometimes I can't let go of the idea that I'll be seen as an unprofessional black woman. It's just a thing. It's not a weight. I'm not like, oh Lord, remove this hoop-laden burden from me! I can't explain it. In some spaces, I am hyper-aware that when people look at me, they are looking at me as a representation for all black people. And for some reason, hoop earrings have always represented something to be judged negatively, specifically on black people.
I mean, I feel you. My hair has always been at the forefront of my mind. Like, I'm always like, I gotta get my hair done, I gotta get my hair done. Even when I was younger, I mean, my husband Gilbert and I have been together for like 13 years, so his mom would take me to Lawrence to get my hair done. One time, my cousin that usually does my hair was out of town, and I was like, I need to get my hair braided. Like, it was like drugs. My whole month, my whole day would revolve around when I'm going to get my hair done. I don't know, I just couldn't let people see me messy. especially being around a lot of white people, I was like, you're not gonna catch me slipping. You're not gonna judge me because the way my clothes look or the way my hair looks. I don't know. Obviously around my family I'm comfortable, but if I know I'm gonna make a first impression, I'm like, okay, let me wear the nice wig and put some makeup on. I don't know if that makes me shallow, but it makes me feel comfortable.
That's all that matters. It's your comfort.
Mm-hmm. So my mom, she had done the twirlies on her hair for a while, and they look kind of like locks, right? So I was like, maybe, interesting. And I had her do it on my hair, and I loved it. But I also hated how short it was because I was so used to having long hair in my life. I look back on pictures now though, and I can't even imagine looking like that anymore. It's such a different me. When I look at the me now, even my Bitmoji has a big curly fro. For me, it is part of my identity, and I just feel more me if my hair is this big or if it's in those twirlies, It felt very much like I was coming into my blackness. Like I was feeling more comfortable in my blackness because I've never been black enough for the black people or Puerto Rican enough for the Puerto Ricans. I'm just weird. I was never nerdy enough for the nerds, and I definitely wasn't gangster enough for my homies. Always try to be gangster. For a brief while, I dated this guy for 5 years.
You said a brief while, and then you said 5 years.
In the larger perspective of time. Well, he's Puerto Rican, right? And he lived in the projects, his family lived in the projects. So then people would come over and I'd be like, BB, you wanna braid my hair? Because I always wore my big earrings anyways, but I just felt so down. I felt, just more accepted with my dope braids.
I get it, yes.
Yeah, for me, it is part of my identity, and it is part of my blackness. I remember the first time I wore my fro full out, and I have pictures of this too. My friend, who was a photographer at the time, she was like, oh my God, I'm so your hair is so beautiful. Can I take pictures of you? I was like, you want to take pictures of me? I look crazy right now. This is the first time I wore it out, I had a little short fro. We put on my senior year prom dress. I just put a little bit of product in there, some conditioner, and it was in its glory. I remember that being the moment when I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna see where this goes. I got some curls up in here, let me see.
In high school, I definitely had straight hair. But it was still important for me to have my hair the way I wanted it to look. Which is why I would wake up super early, put all the curls in it, and just shake it up and make it super big. Then when I got my fro, and it was flourishing, I was like, this is me here. Definitely. But I see those old pictures when I had a TWA, and I was like, oh my goodness. Oh God. My fro has come a long way.
I was 20-something, and I was just so fed up with my hair, and I decided I was going to shave it all off. Since I was a kid, as I said, I always had this vision of myself with short hair and big hoop earrings. So one day, I made my mind up, and I did it. I was living in Haverhill at the time, and I went to this white hair salon downtown. I walked up to the first person I saw, and I said, hey, I want to shave off my hair, please. And the woman gave me a good, long, hard stare and was like, all of it? I was like, yes. And there was no one of hue in the place. Every step of the way, she would check in with me to make sure I was really sure. Buzz, 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 buzz. Are you sure? Buzz, 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 buzz. Are you sure? Then it was done. And I remember walking out of the place and passing by a storefront window looking at my reflection. And I had never felt so beautiful in my entire fucking life. I can't explain it. I had this gait. I was like a horse. I felt so beautiful. It was easy and it was simple. If you natural hair anymore. I would look at old pictures of myself with a perm and think, damn, the perm had me looking good. And I don't know what that's about, but it's different having natural hair. I can't explain it. I felt like that sense of feeling beautiful was deeper for me because of going natural. But I don't think I did it for any sort of, it wasn't a spiritual, like, higher consciousness thing. It was just something I always wanted to do. And then I feel as I've gotten older, it means more to me. Like, it's growing as I'm growing. Which I have come to really like. What about you, Martiza?
Oh, I really like my hair's versatility. I can do a whole bunch of things. I can change it around, I can throw up my fro, but also I like that I can straighten it if I wanted to, but I don't have to. I like that I can braid it in different braids. Yeah, it's so versatile and bouncy. I feel like me, I feel like I'm Tigger, my hair matches.
I like the changeability of my hair. I love a bun, I love a twist, and when I tip, you tip, we tip.
I think that is also a statement. Not just on the whole Black Power thing, because I don't think I even went natural for that reason. But I do love that there is a history behind it. A lot of times I have my hair on top of my head, and however it is, I feel like when I walk in a room, somebody's gonna see my hair. It's gonna be one of the first things they notice. And that just makes me feel good.
My favorite thing about my hair is how thick it is. I used to hate it, but I love that I can put a bunch of water in it and like just go. And I like that I can put like a whole entire scrunchie around my afro and then hold it like this and have a ponytail.
Yes, it's so resilient. I mean, because girl, I've done the most and the worst. Relaxers and glue and color and cutting and braids, my edges were gone. But it always comes back. It takes a while, but it always comes back. Those edges though, Lord.
I tried laying my edges down for the first time this weekend. It was a disaster. I was like, no.
Did you use a toothbrush?
I didn't have one. But luckily one of my friends had a toothbrush.
What did you use? Edge control?
I used like the olive oil edge control. I don't know. I've had all these conversations with you guys, and I feel like everywhere I go, women are like, my edges, my edges, all the time. And I'm like, I don't understand. Just recently, I started to figure out my edges.
I used to use jam. Did you guys use
Yes.
jam?
Guys, NDR reset, I am not my hair. Since I disagree with you a little bit, just because I was really embarrassed by wearing my afro for a long time. Like, after I got it longer, just because it just didn't sit right on my head. And my head is like this big, weird shape. So, you know, I was like, oh, this is weird. And I would do ponytails, but these girls in college, every time they saw me, they used to be like, jam! Because my edges, they were never laid.
I used to be so amazed by jam. I was like, it stays straight and it doesn't make my hair wavy.
But let it be hot that day. You got jam running all over your face.
I don't know. I feel like edges have become its own thing.
I feel like that was my locks too. It's slow and slow growing. It makes me have to accept other features about me too. Like, it makes me have to like my face more because I've relied on my hair a lot. There's a whole lock journey though. There's a whole movement. And it's fun to watch other people and see what happens when you're patient with it.
Patience. See, that's what I don't have. Patience. Like, still nothing? It's so slow. It frustrates me. Like, I don't have time for this. It sucks.
I'm not gonna lie, I've had those moments, especially when my hair is like extra big and I have to brush it and I'm just like, ooh, I should have brushed this 2 weeks ago.
I don't even like washing my hair.
Wash day.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate finger detangling. I hate it all.
It's so annoying. It hurts my arms. I just be like, well.
discard it into 4 sections. Put the conditioner in it in the shower with the water running directly on it. If I do it not standing under the water, it's hard. Or if I do want to get out of the shower, it's too dry. And my sister would be like, just finger detangle. I'd be like, your hair is thin.
I'm telling you, that's like me and my edges. I don't understand.
Oh, wait, but the baby hairs, though.
Oh.
The baby hairs have gotten out of control. It's ridiculous. People will put a wig on and be like, swoop, swoop, swoop. It just doesn't look good. It's too much.
And then you'll see videos of people taking their wigs off and all their baby hairs come off with it.
What would it most resemble?
My hair is a wildflower. It grows where it can.
My hair is branches. I think I'm the tree. There's a long time ago when I read this book. It was called The Shape Changer's Wife, and the main character could change shape. There was something about that tree that was so super poetic that always stuck with me. And, you know, I just love growing things. I love nature, and the forest to me is this amazing zen place. And trees, they have this longevity when other plants, they die, they can come back. But a tree, it can be there throughout all time. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm that powerful, but there's something about that that just really speaks to me.
You are that powerful. Claim that power. You're a tree.
In terms of limbs on a tree,
You are the extension of longevity.
I mean, my name does mean spice bar.
I think about a chameleon. Like our hair can shapeshift and transform.
Yeah. When my hair is down like this, I think of a weeping willow, which is my favorite tree, besides live oaks. Actually, more like a live oak because they have something that hangs down. No, wait. But I'm a flower. My hair spirals up, and then it opens just like a flower does.
Like a sunflower?
Actually, those are my favorite flowers. And I think they're the only flowers that grow in toxic environments and always stay facing the sun.
I would be like a desert. Like when it rains, it can really transform and growth can happen. It can be barren and you introduce some different elements, some flowers, and it turns into a whole different thing. Sometimes it's a desert, but it can grow.
If your hair could be a simile, what would it be?
My hair is as beautiful as the starlit night sky.
Yes. My afro is as fluffy as a pillow.
My hair is as stubborn, hungry, impatient, and uncooperative as a child.
My hair is as thick as a brick. If your hair was a song, what would it be?
If my hair was a song, it'd probably be like, move, bitch! Get out the way! Like, oh no, the flight's out! No, keep up! So
That would be more like Brown Skin Lady by Mos Def and Talib Kweli, or Beautiful by India Arie.
Mine would be dying of thirst.
Mine would be I'm every woman. I just love that key change. Finally, if your hair had a voice, what would it say?
girl, I guess.
Mine would be nourish me.
Mine would be like, you thought. I'm trying to do stuff and my hair is like, ha ha, you thought.
Mine would be, feed me, Seymour.
Mine would just be like, edges.
can't do things because of how restricted things are for folks of color. Because I didn't start wearing my afro comfortably until these last couple of years. Just thinking of the ideas of not being seen as professional, you know, all those things, and feeling awkward or like I'm standing out too much. And I don't want anybody who comes after to feel like that. Whenever I encounter youth where I work, whether it's giving them a tour or whatever, if they're just meeting me for the first time, the first thing I say to them is, hey, I'm a weirdo, and I want you to be your best, weirdest self. I want you to feel safe. And that's what I want for young people coming after me. I want them to feel free, and like free in all the ways. Free to create whatever you want to create. Free to experience life fully and not be afraid that you're gonna mess up. Embrace failure and mistakes and learn from them and grow from them. I think that's how I'd like to live my life. I'd like to say that's how intentional I am with my life now, and that's the kind of legacy I want to leave behind. To be free in all the ways.
I like to believe that I navigate through life being very self-aware and authentic. These are two things that are very important to me. So much of what I do is rooted in love and passion. That's what motivates me to do everything that I decide to do. I hope that I leave something behind for those that will come after. Freedom to me means being those things, and I try very hard to be free. For a long time, I didn't always feel comfortable in my skin, so it's important for me to wear my natural hair, to walk through life loving myself and being authentic with who I am. I'm quick to check myself too, and honestly, I think the world would be a better place if people did this more often. I was just telling my mom the other day, I talk to myself out loud a lot. When I have negative thoughts, especially if they're reoccurring, I'll be like, cut it out. Move on, do a different thing. Make a different choice. I'm not afraid to correct myself and speak to myself. Growing up, my dad taught us, you can say anything you want to say, as long as you say it in a nice way. So growing up, I always felt comfortable saying what I wanted. Granted, I was the one that got the most whoopings. And I carried that with me throughout my life. I'm also a poet, so choosing my words wisely is important.
I know I'm somebody who's always followed my heart regardless, which is why I am where I am today. I think it's like the Force in Star Wars. I'll really listen to something, and no matter how scared of it I am, I'll take a step back, I'll examine it, and if it feels totally right, then I'm gonna go for it. And there's nothing that's gonna hold me back. I also allow those moments to be learning moments for me. It's also this mindfulness piece. I want to physically leave behind an environment that's still alive and breathable and healthy so that we can all grow and we can all be strong. The other thing is the legacy of the struggle, right? Like, our history is just stifled all the time. And I don't want our history to ever inhibit us. And I hope we can grow out of the fear that we have. And at the same time, I always want us to remember where we came from, the whole truth of that.
I think that we also have to remember that our history has so much depth, right? I think that there's like this single story that often gets repeated. And we have to constantly remind ourselves that although that is true, there's so much more. And I think that the legacy has to have that much more depth and that much more of a story. I think that being self-aware, you have the ability to course correct so that you can choose happy. You have the power to make a choice. You know, there's so much times that we feel powerless, but even in that moment, you have the power to make a choice. And don't just give away that power.
I think despite everything we talked about, I do want to leave a legacy of kindness. Because I just think there's just so much chaos in the world. There's just so much bad. I don't want to be rich and famous and all that shit, and I don't care about that. But if someone was like, you know, Naychelle, she had a good heart. She was a good person. That's all I care about. I just want to be a person that helps someone in any sort of way. I don't need all that other shit because it doesn't matter. People will remember how you made them feel. They're not going to remember the car you drove, and they're not going to remember what your title was at work. It doesn't matter. Just a legacy of kindness and respect.
bomb-ass businesswoman. Someone who could put people on. Somebody who was there for the people. Somebody who built something. Somebody who lived her life to the fullest and just didn't care. Freedom to me, that really just means doing whatever the fuck you want. You want to be in a relationship where y'all do this and no one else you know does that. Cool! Your beliefs are changing a little bit. Cool. All these things I'm coming into now. I want to embrace self-discovery and love. And have you seen those memes of Mary J. Blige? Yeah. She's dancing and she's like dodging words like jealousy, negativity, weird. That's the journey I'm on. My hair. My hair?
My hair.
My hair.
My hair is magical.
Beautiful.
Glorious.
Versatile.
My hair.
My hair
My hair.
My hair.
My hair
Is a crown.
is my crown.
Is my crown.
is my crown.
Is my crown.
Sun rising.
Sun setting.
Moon phasing.
Waning.
And waiting.
Wave creating.
I am the universe.
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 And my hair
And my hair.
And my hair
And my hair
And my hair
is mine.
Is mine.
is mine.
is mine.
is mine.
And I'm confused. Would you take the pain that came with all the parts you wanna claim for you? You want my thighs, you want my stride, but not this melanin. You want my hair, but you don't care for this complexion. I'm a black woman. I'm a black woman. Cornbread fed, sweet tea sipping, Nubian queen with the skin that glistens. I'm a black woman. 16 sitting on a cold floor in the corner after school. Recovering from your cover-up when you told me I wasn't right for you. It wasn't hard to believe, 'cause when I watched TV